It's quiet tonight. The gumdrop lamps glow low, and even the wind sounds tired. You can almost hear the kingdom breathing, like it's fallen into a long, sweet dream. Finn and Jake are already half asleep in their treehouse, BMO's little light blinking gently like a firefly. The world of ooh is still, but sometimes, when the stars are this close, and the moon shines like melted frosting, things begin to hum softly like a forgotten song. Peppermint Butler used to say that far beyond the butte where the candy hills fade into dark syrup woods, there's a cabin that glows even when no one's home. He'd laugh, polish his spoon, and change the subject. But the story lingered. Tonight the air feels different, syrup thick, a little too warm. And if you look past the candied trees, past the gumdrop road, you can see it, a faint golden light flickering deep in the forest. A cabin. Quiet, waiting. And no one remembers building it. The smell of maple and wood dust drifts through the air, strange among the caramel trunks. If you listen close, there's a hum beneath the crickets, low, steady, almost like a heartbeat. Jake stirs. Hey, Finn, you see that light? Finn blinks away, hair messy, eyes half open. Thought I was dreaming. But the glow doesn't fade. It pulses once, twice, like it's breathing along with them. They look at each other, caught between curiosity and the softness of sleep. You can almost hear their thoughts. We'll just peek, then come back. The forest is colder than they expect. The air thickens as they walk, leaves crunching like old candy wrappers. The further they go, the quieter ooh becomes until even their footsteps feel too loud. The light ahead flickers again. It's soft, amber, and calm. Not frightening, not yet, but it feels aware. Finn whispers, Jake, I don't think anyone lives out here. Jake stretches his paw cautiously, ears perked. Nah, dude, nobody's supposed to. They keep walking because that's what dreams do. They pull you toward what you shouldn't see but need to remember. The cabin appears suddenly small, crooked, with sugar glass windows clouded by mist. The light inside dances like candle flame, warm and slow. The door is slightly open. Finn calls softly, Hello? No answer. Only the creak of the wood, long, deep, like a sigh. Jake peers through the crack, tail twitching. Smells like pancakes and something else. Kind of old, like burnt sugar. Finn steps inside first. The air shifts, sweet, heavy, familiar in a way that makes your chest ache. There are toys scattered on the floor, little wooden blocks, half-melted crayons, a rocking chair still moving gently like someone just left it. On the far wall, carved deep into the wood, are words too faint to read. But the closer Finn gets, the warmer the air feels, almost like the cabin is glad he came. Jake whispers, Maybe we should head back, dude. But Finn doesn't answer. He's staring at something. On the table, beside a half-finished cup of cocoa, lies a picture. It's old, edges curling, faintly glowing under the golden light. Finn picks it up. His breath catches. It's a drawing of the treehouse. Of them, only smaller, simpler. Like someone drew it long before they existed. The wind outside stops. The hum grows louder, low, rhythmic, wrapping around them like a lullaby. Jake shivers. Bro, that's weird, man. Finn nods, eyes heavy, voice soft. Yeah, but doesn't it feel kind of nice? And it does. The air, the light, even the hum, it doesn't feel dangerous. It feels remembered. The cabin creaks again, a wooden heartbeat, slow and deep. The glow dims, then brightens like it's breathing with them. Finn yawns. Maybe we just, rest here. Just for a bit. Jake sighs but nods, curling near the hearth. Yeah, one nap. Then home. The rocking chair still sways. The cocoa steams faintly, as though someone poured it just moments ago. And as the two drift into sleep, the hum softens, melting into something tender, ancient, and almost sad. Outside, the light in the window flickers once more. If you were walking through the woods, you might see it and think someone's home. But no one ever is. The cabin sighs as dawn tries to creep in. But the sun doesn't seem to touch this place. It just hovers at the edges, pale, lost, like it's unsure if it belongs here. Inside, Finn stirs first. His dreams were thick and syrupy, full of voices that sounded like laughter trapped in honey. He opens his eyes slowly. The cabin feels different. Brighter but emptier. Jake is still asleep, curled near the fire that never burned out. The cup of cocoa still steams. The rocking chair still moves forward, back, though no wind touches it. Finn blinks. Jake, wake up, dude. Jake yawns, stretching his arms long enough to tap the ceiling beam. Morning already? But outside the window, the forest isn't morning. It's golden, suspended between night and day. The same light that drew them here now seeps through every crack in the walls, soft and humming. Finn rubs his eyes. Do you hear that? Jake tilts an ear. The hum is steady now, familiar, almost like a song he used to know. Yeah, Jake whispers. It's kind of nice. They sit for a moment, letting it wash over them. The cabin hums with them floorboards breathing, air glowing. Finn walks toward the table. The picture from last night is still there. But now there are more dozens of drawings scattered across the wood. Some are crayon sketches of them, Finn with his sword, Jake with a wide grin. Others show places the Candy Kingdom, the Ice Mountains, the treehouse. And in every one, there's a small light in the distance, a cabin, glowing beneath peppermint trees. Finn flips one over. There's handwriting on the back, shaky, faded. For when they forget. His breath catches. Jake. Jake leans over his shoulder, frowning. Forget what? Before Finn can answer, the cabin creaks again, louder this time, groaning like it's waking up. The hum deepens into a slow heartbeat rhythm. The air shimmers, and for a moment, Finn swears the walls are moving, stretching, like the cabin is breathing. Then silence. A deep, waiting silence that feels almost alive. Jake mutters, "Man, I don't like this. This place is vibing too weird." Finn smiles faintly. "It's not scary, though, right?" Jake squints. "Nah, but it's, sad, kinda." They look around the toys, the tiny chair, the cup left half full. Everything feels like a memory someone built out of wood and sugar. Finn reaches out to touch the wall. It's warm. For just a second he sees something aflash, soft and gold. A little figure, tiny, glowing, sitting in the corner, drawing. He blinks. It's gone. But the drawing on the table has changed. Now, beside the treehouse, there are 3 figures, Finn, Jake, and a small glowing shape holding a crayon. Jake notices it too. "Okay. Now that's creepy, man." Finn laughs softly, but his voice is sleepy, slow. "I don't think it's creepy. I think it's lonely." They both fall quiet. The hum returns, gentler now, like the cabin is listening. Jake scratches his head. "So, well, what do we do? Stay?" Finn shrugs. "Maybe. Just for a bit." He sits in the rocking chair. It stops moving, waiting for him. Jake settles nearby. The fire crackles softly, though there's no wood, no fuel, no smoke. Finn stares into the light. It's weird. Feels like we've been here before. Jake frowns. Nah, dude. We'd remember a spooky, glowing pancake shack. But Finn's eyes drift. No, I mean, like before. In a dream, maybe. The hum deepens again, vibrating softly through the floor. Jake yawns. Man, don't start talking dream stuff. I just woke up. But even he sounds drowsy again. The air is thick, heavy with warmth and honeyed light. Finn's voice fades. Do you think, maybe this place dreams too? The walls creak in reply, slow, deliberate. A single beam of light slides across the floor, settling on the table, over the words carved into it. Finn looks closer. The carvings are clearer now. Home is where you are remembered. He whispers the words, and something deep in the cabin shifts, not in fear, but relief. The humming grows louder like a lullaby sung through the wood. The light flares softly around them. Jake tries to speak, but his voice melts into a sigh. Finn's head drops against the chair. The cabin hums, patient, content. Outside, the golden forest stays still frozen between night and dawn. The cabin breathes once more, as if tucking them in. And through the window, far above Peppermint Butte, the moon blinks once, like it's watching them sleep. The world outside the cabin has changed. It isn't night anymore, but it isn't day either. The light outside is amber, honey thick, the color of something half remembered. Finn blinks awake. The air tastes like warm sugar, the kind that melts on your tongue before you realize it's gone. Jake's still asleep, his chest rising and falling in rhythm with the hum. The rocking chair moves on its own again, slow and deliberate. Finn sits up, eyes cloudy from dreams. He feels rested, but heavy like his body remembers something his mind doesn't. Then he hears it. Faint voices. Soft, layered not from the cabin, but from outside. Whispering. Not menacing. Not quite words. Just sounds that tug at the edge of memory, like laughter echoing underwater. He stands and peers through the fogged window. The forest beyond the peppermint trees looks the same, but something shimmers in the air like reflections rippling through syrup. The voices rise again, forming faint, broken phrases. Don't forget. Stay warm. Remember you? Finn presses his hand to the window. It's warm. The hum of the cabin syncs with the whispers outside as if they're the same song, sung from two sides of a dream. Jake stirs, yawning. Dude, you're up early. Finn turns, still watching the window. Jake, listen. Jake does. His ears twitch. The whispers are soft, clear now, drifting through the door like mist. He frowns. Sounds like people? Finn nods. Yeah, but who? They walk toward the door. The cabin groans a little, like it's protesting. The handle is warm to the touch, like a heartbeat trapped in metal. When Finn opens it, the air outside feels thicker. The candy trees seem taller now, bending slightly toward the cabin as if listening too. The golden light flickers, spreading across the ground like liquid. And there between two peppermint trunks, something moves. Shapes. Faint glowing silhouettes. Not solid like memory given form. Finn whispers, Jake, you see that? Jake squints. Yeah, man, kinda looks like people made a light. The figures don't come closer. They just stand in the syrup fog, shifting gently like candle flames. One of them lifts a hand, slow, hesitant, as if waving hello. Finn's chest tightens. Do you think they're ghosts? Jake shrugs, nervous but calm. If they are, they seem pretty chill ghosts. The nearest figure steps forward, and for a moment, just one heartbeat, Finn swears he sees a face. A smile. Soft and kind. And familiar. But before he can speak, the cabin hums sharply a single low note that vibrates the ground. The figures freeze, then dissolve into light. Jake looks around. Okay. That's new. Finn steps into the forest, blinking. They weren't trying to scare us. They were calling us. Calling us? Jake echoes. For what? Finn looks back at the cabin. The glow from the windows has changed dimmer, slower, like it's tired. And carved into the door now are new words, etched fresh and glowing faintly. Don't forget the first light. Finn runs his fingers over the letters. The wood is warm, alive. He looks up at Jake. What do you think it means? Jake shakes his head. Man, this whole dream is one big riddle pancake. Finn smiles faintly, though his eyes are distant. Maybe it's not a dream. The hum grows quieter, like the cabin is listening. The forest air thickens again, sweet and slow, like syrup cooling after a storm. Then a sound from deeper in the woods. A faint laugh. High, distant, familiar. Finn freezes. Jake, did you hear that? Jake tilts his ears. The laughter comes again, soft, echoing. It sounds like a child. The same light that fills the cabin begins to ripple between the trees. And in the far distance, through the amber fog, another glow flickers smaller, dimmer, like a candle burning out. Finn's heartbeat sinks with the hum. I think, we're supposed to find that light. Jake sighs. Bro, you and your quests. Can't we just nap in weird ghost cabins? Finn grins, but his eyes stay fixed on the forest. You can nap. I'll go see what it is. Jake groans. Nah, not letting you wander syrup woods alone, bro. So together they step into the forest, soft light underfoot. Whispers swirling around them like lullabies. The cabin's glow fades behind them, pulsing slowly as if waving goodbye. The hum follows, softer now, echoing between the peppermint trunks. And far ahead, through the trees, the laughter fades into a single word, remember? Then silence. Only the sound of their footsteps, two friends walking through a dream that feels older than ooh itself. The forest grows stranger the farther they walk. Each tree bends slightly toward them, as if leaning in to listen. The trunks shimmer with faint reflections, shapes and moments flickering in the bark, like memories trapped in amber. Finn slows. His breath comes out in mist, even though the air isn't cold. Jake pads beside him, ears twitching. Man, it's quiet. Finn nods. Yeah, even the wind feels like it's waiting. Ahead, the second light glows small, soft, golden. It floats low to the ground, pulsing like a heartbeat. As they approach, the forest seems to bend around it. The peppermint trees curve inward, forming a kind of circle, a cradle of branches and light. And there, resting in the center, is a little lantern. It's shaped like a teardrop, made of glass, so thin it looks like sugar. Inside it, a flame, blue and gold, flickering but never burning out. Finn kneels. It's beautiful. Jake tilts his head. Dude, that's chemical light, like the stuff Princess Bubblegum uses in her labs, only older. Finn squints. Older? Jake nods slowly. Yeah, like before us. The flame pulses once soft, steady, and the air trembles. Then the whispers return, faint, childlike. Don't forget the first light. We built it for them. They came from light. Finn looks up sharply. Jake, did you hear that? Jake's fur bristles. Yeah, but who's they? Before Finn can answer, the lantern flickers brighter and the ground hums. Images swirl inside the flame flashes of the Candy Kingdom, the lab, the professor's hands shaping something glowing and round. Then the cabin. The same cabin, but newer, brighter. And inside it, a figure not Finn, not Jake. Someone in a lab coat stirring a pot of syrup-like light. Finn's voice drops. Jake, that's Princess Bubblegum. Jake's eyes widen. Man, that looks like her. But younger. Way younger. They watch as she sets this lantern on a table inside the newly built cabin. Then she looks up, straight toward them, through the flame. For a second, her eyes meet Finn. The whisper deepens. This was the first light. Before candy. Before kingdom. Before names. Then the image dissolves. The flame dims, leaving only the faint blue glow. Finn exhales. Jake, I think this place is force. It's part of her. Jake blinks. Like Princess Bubblegum's dream? Finn shakes his head. No, like her memory. The air grows warmer. The forest shivers. The trees whisper again, faster this time, overlapping. She forgot. They all forgot. Only the light remembers. Finn stands slowly. The cabin was built to keep the light alive. Jake scratches his chin. And what's it doing here? With us? Finn looks back toward the faint glow of the cabin. Behind them, far away now, just a spark in the distance. It's calling us to remember. Something she left behind. The lantern flickers once more brighter, sharper. The flame splits into 3 sparks, each floating upward, spinning lazily like fireflies. Jake's eyes widen. Whoa! The sparks drift around them, circling Finn's head, brushing against his fingertips. Each one hums with a faint note, different tones that together form a tiny, perfect chord. Then they fade into the trees, leaving only trails of light behind. Finn whispers, "We have to follow them." Jake groans. "Oh man, I knew you were going to say that." They move deeper into the forest, following the faint trails that shimmer like strings of gold thread. As they walk, the whispers grow fainter, replaced by a different sound. A heartbeat. Slow, steady beneath the earth. Finn glances down. The soil beneath their feet glows faintly with every step. Jake frowns. "Feels like we're walking on something alive." Finn murmurs, "Maybe we are." The path narrows, winding between candy cane trunks and glass-like leaves. Each time the wind blows, the leaves chime softly, playing a tune Finn almost remembers, and the same lullaby the cabin hummed as they fell asleep. He stops walking. "Jake, listen." Jake pauses, his ears perk. "Bro, that's a song." Finn nods. "Yeah, but not from here." The song fades, replaced by a voice, faint, distant, coming from the dark ahead. "Bring it back. Bring the light home." Jake mutters, "Okay, that's officially spooky." Finn steps forward. "No, it's sad." He reaches the edge of a clearing. In the center stands another structure, not a cabin, but what's left of one. Broken walls, collapsed roof, melted candy beams. And in the middle, a pedestal of white sugarstone, cracked and glowing faintly. Jake whistles low. "Whoa, that's old. Like pre-war old." Finn approaches. Maybe this was the first cabin. The whispers fade completely now, replaced by the steady hum of the pedestal. Carved into its surface are 3 words, faint but glowing. "The second light sleeps." Finn touches the carving. The glow surges, and suddenly the forest itself seems to breathe in. Every leaf, every branch, every piece of sugar dust glows gold, all pulsing with the same heartbeat rhythm. Jake's eyes widen. Finn, I think we woke it up. The light rises around them like mist, thick and soft, wrapping them in warmth. The forest hums a lullaby, and Finn feels his eyelids grow heavy. The world tilts, slow and sweet. Jake's voice echoes faintly. Bro, you feeling that? Finn whispers. Yeah, like the forest is dreaming us. The hum deepens, and the pedestal flares then. Everything fades to white. When Finn opens his eyes, the world isn't the same. It's quiet, too quiet. No wind, no smell, no sound of Jake's snores. He's lying on soft ground that glows faintly gold. Not soil, not sugar, but light shaped into texture. Above him, the sky isn't blue. It's syrup-colored slow clouds drifting like melted glass, shimmering between day and night. He sits up slowly. His own hands glow faintly at the fingertips. Every movement leaves behind a little trail of gold dust, vanishing as soon as he notices it. Jake? His voice doesn't echo, it rings like a bell muffled in the syrup. Then a shape stirs beside him. Jake, half asleep, his outline flickering like a shadow in water. Bro, did we fall into another dream dimension? Finn looks around. I think this is the dream. The forest dream. Jake blinks, floating slightly above the glowing soil. Man, that's trippy. Even for us. They stand or drift toward the horizon, where light ripples like liquid honey. The trees here aren't peppermint anymore. They're tall beams of glass, humming softly. And within each trunk, faint figures move like memories caught in crystal. Finn pauses, pressing his palm to one of the trees. Inside, he sees flashes images forming and fading. A lab, a candle, a little flame inside a jar. Jake leans over. That's Bubblegum again. The image sharpens young Princess Bubblegum kneeling beside a tiny glass cradle, whispering something to it. Then a second figure appears behind her, cloaked tall, carrying another jar of blue light. Finn whispers, "Who is that?" Jake squints. Man, I don't know, but that ain't no candy person. The whisper from the tree fades into the hum of the air. She didn't make the first light, she found it. Finn steps back, breath shallow. The first light wasn't created in her lab, it was here, before her. Jake scratches his head. So what? She copied it? Finn shakes his head. Maybe she tried to protect it, or continue it. The ground trembles gently, as if in agreement. Then the world around them begins to shift. The glass trees melt into ribbons of light flowing downward. The soil ripples like water, and the air thickens, forming a tunnel leading deeper, downward, glowing like the inside of a star. Jake floats closer. Okay, that's either a cool slide or a terrible idea. Finn grins. Only one way to find out. He steps forward and sinks. The light wraps around him, warm, heavy, pulling him down slowly, like falling through syrup. Jake yells, "Bro, wait up!" Then he dives after him. They fall or drift through layers of memory, each one a flash, a whisper. The first light warmed the sugar soil. The first light made the sweetness grow. Then they came and tried to own it. Finn's heart races. The whispers aren't just voices, they're feelings, regret, fear, hope. When he lands, the air is colder. The light is dim now, pale blue, shimmering over crystal roots. They stand inside a vast underground chamber. In the center lies a massive crystal heart, cracked but glowing faintly. Its rhythm is slow, steady. The heartbeat of the forest, Jake breathes. Bro, that's it. The first light. Finn steps closer. The heart pulses once and the whole cavern sighs. Images swirl across its surface, memories replaying themselves. A world before ooh. Fields of sugar glass and rivers of glowing syrup. Beings made of light walking beneath a golden sky. And then darkness, fire. A shadow spreading, swallowing color and sound. The light beings scatter, fading into the earth, hiding inside the sugar soil. Their last act, splitting the first light into pieces and sealing them in the forest. Finn whispers, "That's what the lantern was, and the cabin, pieces of the light." Jake nods, eyes wide. "And that means this forest? It's not just a place, it's their memory." The heart pulses again. A whisper echoes from within it, soft, feminine, familiar. Don't let it fade again. Remember what she forgot. The ground glows brighter. Finn feels warmth flood his chest, like the hum from the cabin, but deeper, alive. Jake frowns. "Bro, who's she?" Before Finn can answer, the glow swells, blinding. Then silence. When the light fades, they're back in the forest. But it's different now. The trees shimmer with faces gentle, smiling, made of light. And at the far end of the clearing, the cabin waits, glowing gold and blue, alive again. Jake murmurs, "Guess we found our way back." Finn stares at the cabin. "No, it found us." The hum rises once more, soft, steady like a lullaby. The cabin doors creak open on their own. Inside, the fireplace burns brighter than ever, blue flame licking the air. Finn and Jake step inside. The warmth hits like memory, familiar, ancient, and full of longing. Jake sighs. "Man, I feel sleepy again." Finn smiles faintly. "Then sleep. Yeah, I think that's what it wants." Jake curls near the fire, eyes closing. Finn stays awake just a little longer, watching the light play across the walls, the same drawings as before, now glowing faintly. Except this time, there's a new one. A picture of them, Finn, Jake, and behind them, Princess Bubblegum holding a jar of light. And beneath it, in small golden letters, "They brought it home." Finn whispers, "We didn't find it. It remembered us." The cabin hums, content. The golden light fades to a soft glow, and Finn's eyes grow heavy. As he drifts off, the last thing he hears is the forest whispering. The light remembers. Sleep now. The world is quiet again. No forest heartbeat. No whispering trees. Only the slow breathing of dawn, steady, patient, golden. Finn opens his eyes. The first thing he sees is sunlight slipping through the cabin's sugar glass windows, painting the air gold. Real sunlight, not syrup glow, not dream light. Just morning. For a moment, he doesn't move. He just lies there, wrapped in warmth. Jake is still curled up by the fire, snoring softly. The flames are gone, but the air is still warm, as if the cabin itself is holding them. Finn sits up slowly. The cabin feels smaller now, calmer. Still humming, but faint, like a lullaby winding down. He looks around. The drawings are gone. The toys, the glowing marks, the letters on the walls all faded, like chalk washed away by rain. Only the faint outline of the carving on the table remains. Home is where you are remembered. Finn smiles faintly. "Hey, Jake. Wake up." Jake yawns, stretching, blinking at the sunlight. "Morning already?" Finn nods. "Yeah, and I think we're back." Jake looks around, rubbing his eyes. "Man, it's weird. Feels like the dream's still in my fur." Finn laughs softly. "Me too." They stand, stretching. The door is still open, letting in the smell of warm candy, air soft, real, full of life. Outside, the peppermint trees sway gently, alive again. The golden syrup glow is gone, replaced by normal light, ordinary, comforting. Jake sighs. Guess the spooky forest's done with us. Finn looks back at the fireplace. Nah, it's still here. Just sleeping. The hum answers one last low note that vibrates through the floorboards. A goodbye. Jake tilts his head. You feel that? Finn nods. Yeah, it's saying thanks. They step out into the morning. The air is cool. The forest stretches far, peaceful and quiet. When Finn looks back, the cabin is already fading into the trees, its outline dissolving, light turning to mist. Jake whispers, Hey, it's gone. Finn shakes his head. Nah, it just doesn't need to be seen anymore. They start walking slow, quiet, unhurried. The forest hums once more, faint and distant, like a memory of a song. And as they walk, the path behind them fades, covered by soft sugar leaves, until it's as if they were never there. Jake glances up at the sky. Man, that was wild. You think we were really, in something? Finn smiles. Yeah, we were in a memory. Jake grins. A sugary memory. Finn laughs. The sweetest kind. They walk in silence for a while. The Candy Kingdom appears in the distance, rooftops glinting like caramel glass. Everything feels the same, and yet not. When they reach the gates, Princess Bubblegum is waiting. She looks tired, but calm and holding a small lantern. The same kind they saw in the forest. But now it's dim, empty, just a shell. She smiles softly. You found it, didn't you? Finn blinks. Found what? She holds up the lantern. The first light. It came back last night. The senses went wild, and the whole kingdom glowed for a second. Jake chuckles. Yeah, we might have had something to do with that. She looks between them, something in her eyes, a mix of wonder and nostalgia. I built that cabin a long time ago, she says quietly, when I was still learning what memory meant. Finn nods slowly. It's still there, in the woods, waiting. She smiles faintly. Good. Then it remembers too. For a moment, the three of them stand in silence. Then she adds, I think sometimes places hold on to feelings we forget, just until we're ready to feel them again. Finn looks out toward the forest, the golden light of morning spilling across the candy trees. Guess we were ready, he murmurs. Bubblegum nods. Guess so. The wind stirs, soft and warm. The scent of peppermint drifts through the air. And somewhere deep in the forest, though none of them can hear it now, the cabin hums one last note before falling completely silent. Jake stretches, smiling. Come on, dude. Let's get breakfast. Dream adventures make me hungry. Finn laughs. Yeah, pancakes sound perfect. They walk toward the Candy Kingdom gates, sunlight glowing behind them, melting the last of the dream. The forest stands quiet. The syrup hum has stopped. But if you listen, really listen, you can almost hear it still, faint and sweet, whispering through the candy wind. The light remembers. The night in Ooh is quiet. Too quiet for his mind to rest. Finn lies awake in his sleeping bag, Jake snoring softly nearby. The moon hangs over the grasslands, silver and wide, shining like an eye that doesn't blink. He's been hearing it again. That sound. A laugh light, happy, familiar. It slips into his dreams every night, right before he wakes. Not a monster's cackle, not a trick, just laughter. The kind that comes from someone who knows you so well, they don't need words. Tonight, he tells himself, he'll sleep through it. He'll let it pass. But as he drifts off, the sound returns distant, echoing through a fog of soft blue light. Hey, Finn, remember me? The voice is warm. A little girl's voice. Or maybe not a girl, maybe something else entirely. He can't tell. He can only feel how much it hurts to forget. He opens his eyes inside the dream. He's standing in a meadow. The grass glows faintly like it's remembering sunlight. In the distance stands a single swing set, swaying on its own. He walks closer. The chains creak softly. No one sits there, but the other swing is moving too, as if someone invisible is keeping rhythm. Finn swallows hard. Who's there? No answer. Just that same quiet laugh. Then a shadow. Small, bright, flickering, like a candle flame. It darts behind a tree, leaving little footprints that glow for only a moment before fading. Finn follows, slow, cautious. He knows this place, but he shouldn't. It's not the Candy Kingdom, not the treehouse. It feels older, like a memory that belonged to someone else before him. He reaches the tree. There's a small mark carved into the bark, two initials half worn by time. F. The second letter is gone. He brushes his hand over it. The air shivers. The ground hums faintly, the same tone that followed him in the syrup forest once. Then behind him, that laugh again, closer now. He turns, nothing. Only a shimmer in the air, like heat above candy sand. The whisper comes again. You promised you wouldn't forget. Finn's throat tightens. Who are you? But the dream starts to dissolve. The sky fades into syrup gold, the ground to glass. He hears Jake's voice from far away. Finn, wake up, dude. A sudden pull, and he's back in the treehouse. Morning. Birds chirping outside. But his pillow is wet, and when he wipes his cheek, there's a smear of something glowing in gold. He stares at it. It fades like sugar in water. Jake's watching him, eyebrows raised. Bro, you good? You were talking in your sleep again. Finn nods slowly. Yeah, I just heard someone laughing. Jake grins sleepily. Probably me. My dreams are hilarious. Finn smiles, but the smile doesn't reach his eyes. Because somewhere deep in his mind, the voice still echoes. You promised. The morning in Ooh feels gentle, like it's pretending nothing strange ever happens. Sunlight pours through the window, thick, golden, soft around the edges. Finn blinks himself awake, still heavy from the dream. Jake's making breakfast downstairs, pancakes that smell like caramel clouds. The smell fills the air, comforting and warm, pulling Finn halfway back into ordinary life. But something's off. A sound, faint but steady. The scrape of a pencil. He frowns and looks to his desk. There, under a pile of maps and candy wrappers, a single sheet of paper has been pulled free. A drawing, crayon lines, messy, uneven. A picture of two little figures holding hands under a bright blue sun. Finn's chest tightens. One of the figures is definitely him. The hat, the sword, the smile. The other is smaller. No name. Just a faint outline as if someone tried to erase it and stopped halfway. At the bottom, in shaky handwriting, it says, Best friends forever. Finn doesn't remember drawing it. He doesn't remember the hand that held his. "Yo, dude," Jake calls up. "Breakfast." Finn blinks, folds the paper, and tucks it into his pocket. When he heads downstairs, the air feels colder than before. Jake's at the stove, humming something a tune Finn's never heard. It's soft, looping, sweet, the kind of melody that sounds like it should have words but doesn't. "What's that song?" Finn asks. Jake shrugs. "I don't know, man. Just popped in my head." The melody lingers, following every turn of the spatula, every sizzle of syrup. Finn's heartbeat slows with it, falling into rhythm. Feels familiar. Later that day, they go about their usual business, a visit to the Candy Kingdom, a lazy walk through the grassy plains. Everything normal, everything fine. But everywhere Finn looks, something seems a little out of place. A single swing by the candy schoolyard moves on its own. A hopscotch grid scratched into the sugar dust with no footprints near it. A half-melted popsicle stick figure stuck into the ground, tiny and smiling. By evening, Finn's quiet. Jake notices. "You sure you're okay, buddy?" Finn nods, but his hand slips into his pocket, brushing that folded drawing. He can feel the crayon lines like scars through the paper. That night, when the lights go out, the air hums again. Not loud, just enough to make the hairs on his arms rise. He opens his eyes. On the wall opposite his bed, faint shapes glow drawings in soft blue light. He sits up slowly. The pictures are the same as the one in his pocket and that small, nameless figure. Dozens of them, laughing, running, sitting beneath a tree. All drawn in light, like a child's memory projected on the wood. And then, written beneath them in trembling letters, "You said you'd find me again." The voice from the dream echoes soft, far away. "You promised." The drawings flicker. For a moment, Finn sees movement, the smaller figure turning its head, its mouth curling into a smile. Then, just as quickly, the light fades. The wall goes blank. Finn's breathing is loud in the quiet. He clutches the blanket tighter. Jake's asleep, snoring softly. The only sound left is the faint hum of that forgotten melody, still playing somewhere inside Finn's head. The next day starts the same as any other. But when Finn opens his eyes, the first thing he sees is the sunlight catching dust, hundreds of tiny specks, spinning like tiny fireflies in the air. They drift in the beam, forming little shapes, like they're trying to tell a story. Finn rubs his eyes, but the image won't fade. The pattern looks familiar, two shapes side by side, one taller, one smaller. He sits up, the floor cool beneath his bare feet. The drawing from last night is still in his pocket. He doesn't pull it out. He doesn't need to. He knows what it says. He knows what he feels. Something's missing. Someone. Downstairs, Jake's talking to BMO. Their voices are soft, easy, comforting. But when Finn steps onto the ladder, the wood creaks in a way he's never heard before. Almost like a sigh. He pauses, listens. A faint tap, tap, tap comes from under the floorboards. Rhythmic, soft, like a small hand knocking politely from the other side. "Jake," Finn says slowly. "You hear that?" Jake pauses mid-bite of his breakfast burrito. "Hear what?" Finn kneels, puts his ear to the floor. The knocking stops. Then faint laughter, the same as the dream. His heart thuds. He feels the cold through the wood. When he pulls back, a faint shimmer stays the shape of a handprint, glowing blue for half a second before fading away. Jake frowns. "Dude, maybe we should open a window or something." "You're getting that haunted look again?" Finn doesn't answer. He just whispers. It's her. Who's her? I don't know. That afternoon, Finn stays home while Jake goes out for supplies. The house feels different when it's quiet, like it's breathing slow and deep. He starts looking not for ghosts, not for monsters, but for memory. Old boxes, forgotten shelves, dusty corners that smell like wood and sunlight. Behind a loose floorboard near his bed, he finds it. A small toy, made of wood, painted with fading colors. It's a little figure of a girl or something close to one, with messy hair and a crooked smile. One arm is missing. The paint on the face has worn thin. But the name carved on the bottom makes Finn's chest go tight. For F. He holds it for a long time, fingers tracing the letters. The texture is rough, splintered but warm. The kind of thing that could only be made by a friend who knew your favorite colors, your favorite shapes. He whispers into the quiet, "Who made you?" The air hums again. That faint, sweet laugh fills the corners of the room, gentle, distant, sad. Finn closes his eyes. He can almost see her, a little figure sitting beside him, humming softly, swinging her legs like a child waiting to be remembered. The sound fades as a breeze slips through the window. The toy warms in his hand, then cools as if exhaling. When Jake returns, Finn's still sitting there staring at the toy. "Bro, what's that?" Jake asks. "I think..." Finn's voice is quiet. "I think it's hers." Jake tilts his head. "Whose?" Finn looks up, eyes unfocused. "She was here, Jake. She's my friend." Jake's face softens. "You sure you're not dreaming, bud?" Finn almost smiles. "Maybe. But if I am, I don't want to wake up yet." That night, Finn keeps the toy by his pillow. When he drifts to sleep, the laughter doesn't come, only the sound of humming, soft and low. And just before he fades completely, he hears a whisper right beside his ear. "You found me once. You can find me again." It's late afternoon in Ooh. The sun lies low, syrupy and gold, melting behind the Candy Mountains. Finn sits on the roof of the treehouse, feet swinging over the edge, the toy still in his hand. He hasn't told anyone else. Not Princess Bubblegum. Not Marceline. Not even BMO. He's not sure they'd believe him, or worse, he's not sure they'd remember. The wood of the toy is smooth now from his touch. He spent hours just tracing the edges, running his thumb over the carved smile, the missing arm, the letter F. Jake's out walking the meadow, leaving Finn alone with the wind. And in that stillness, the whisper comes back. "Do you remember the hill?" It's faint, carry on the breeze. He freezes, eyes wide. "We used to race the clouds." Finn swallows hard. "Who are you?" The wind sighs. Leaves rustle. For a moment, it almost sounds like laughter again, soft, bubbling, innocent. He closes his eyes. And just like that, he's somewhere else. He's standing on a grassy hill that glows faintly under a honey-colored sky. No sound but the wind and the distant hum of dreamlight. A familiar shape runs past him, small, fast, laughing. He can't see her face, but he knows that sound. He runs after her, heart pounding with something between joy and sorrow. Wait. The figure turns, stopping at the top of the hill. Hair wild, eyes bright, form flickering like a candle in a breeze. "You took too long," she says softly. "You said you'd be back." Finn takes a step forward. "What's your name?" She tilts her head, smile fading. "You don't remember?" He shakes his head. "I'm trying." The sky darkens slightly, as if hurt by his words. The air thickens. The grass bends away from him. "It's okay," she whispers. "You'll remember when you find the rest." Rest of what? But the dream ripples. The hill dissolves. The voice fades, replaced by a low hum that feels like the treehouse breathing again. He wakes up suddenly, still on the roof. The toy is gone. Finn scrambles to his feet, heart hammering. The wind has changed. It smells like candy rain and cold iron. He searches everywhere, the grass, the stairs, the rooms, until he finds it. The toy lies at the base of the ladder, and beside it, something carved into the wood, a single name. But only the first letter is clear, A. He touches it, and a warmth spreads up his fingers. A flash behind his eyes, a memory. A little hand in his. A voice saying, "Promise me you'll keep playing, even if I'm not there." Then darkness again. Jake's voice breaks the quiet. "Finn, you okay, man?" Finn blinks. "Yeah, just remembering stuff." Jake looks at the carved mark. "That new?" Finn nods slowly. "Old, I think. Just hidden?" Jake shrugs, smiles a little. "Hey, if this is another ghost thing, at least it's a nice one." Finn chuckles softly. "Yeah, she's nice." He picks up the toy and sets it by his window. Outside, the first stars blink awake one by one. And from somewhere deep within the treehouse walls, the faint sound of a child's hum drifts out, slow, rhythmic, and sad. Jake doesn't hear it, but Finn does. He lies awake, staring at the ceiling. Every hum seems to pull something closer. Something that's been waiting a long time to be remembered. By the next morning, Finn can't keep still. The letter A carved into the ladder sits in his head like a spark, a piece of a word that won't finish itself. If anyone could help him fill the blank, it would be Princess Bubblegum. She keeps everything, memories, data, stories. He leaves early, the toy tucked into his pack. The air smells of candy rain and quiet. Jake snores on, unbothered. Inside the candy castle, the world feels different, sterile, humming with quiet machinery. Bubblegum looks up from her work when Finn arrives. Her smile is kind, practiced. "Finn, you look like you haven't slept in a week." He laughs weakly. "Yeah, maybe not. I just need to check something." Her eyebrows lift. "Something classified?" "Maybe." He places the toy on her desk. "I think this used to be someone's. A friend's. I can't remember her name." Bubblegum's tone softens. "Let me scan it." She slips the toy beneath a humming lens. Pink light rolls across the wood. For a moment, the lens flickers, then sparks. "Strange," she murmurs. "The structure's organic and old. Pre-ooh old." Finn swallows. "You mean older than me?" "Older than both of us." She scrolls through translucent candy screens, searching. Files flick past. Expeditions, creatures, forgotten places, but nothing matches. Then one file blinks red. Restricted memory, subject A0. She hesitates. "Finn, did you say the name started with A?" He nods slowly. She opens the file. For a heartbeat, the lab goes dark, monitors dimming to a low hum. A single image flickers. A hill under a honey sky, two figures racing. One tall, one small. Then the file erases itself. Letters dripping away like melted sugar. Bubblegum gasps. The system's purging it. "Why?" Finn whispers. "I don't know." The lights return. The toy hums faintly on the table, a pulse of blue beneath its paint. Bubblegum looks shaken. Whatever this is, it doesn't want to be remembered. Finn picks up the toy. But I do. That night, back in the treehouse, the rain hasn't stopped. Drops slide down the window like slow-moving stars. Jake snores on the couch. BMO hums an old tune. Finn sits at his desk, staring at the toy. The glow inside it pulses with the rhythm of a heartbeat. He whispers, "Who are you?" The pulse quickens once, twice, then steadies. From outside comes the faint sound of laughter again, muffled by the rain. A whisper follows, almost kind. "You're getting close." The window fogs over, and on the glass, written in the mist, appear 3 trembling words. "Find the hill." Finn's breath catches. The toy grows still, dark again. He looks out into the storm. The forest sways in the wind, black silhouettes dancing in syrup-colored lightning. Somewhere out there is a hill, a name and a promise he once made. He closes his eyes, letting the rain's rhythm pull him toward sleep. The whisper fades into a lullaby, the same tune Bubblegum's monitors had hummed when the file erased itself. "Find the hill. Find me." By dawn, Finn already knows where to go. The words on the window won't leave his mind. Find the hill. He packs light, sword pack, the little wooden toy. Jake's still half asleep when Finn whispers, "Back later." Jake just mumbles, brings snacks, and rolls over. Outside, feels muted. Even the grass hums quietly and like it knows what day this is. The sky stays gray. The path bends north toward Peppermint Butte, and beyond it a place no map bothers to mark. The climb takes hours. Every step feels older than the one before. By noon he reaches the ridge, and there it is. A small hill rising from the candy fields, untouched by color, its soil pale as ash. No flowers, no footprints. There are nights in when everything is too quiet, when even the wind sounds like it's holding its breath. Those are the nights when the bus starts to play. No one's touching it. It sits in Marceline's room, leaning against the wall, dust caught in the strings like strands of silver hair. But when the moon is full and the house is dark, one low note hums through the floorboards, slow, heavy, and sad. Marceline never acts surprised. She just opens one red eye, sighs, and says softly, "Still singing, huh?" She knows that sound. She remembers it from before the Candy Kingdom, before became sweet and strange, back when the sky was filled with smoke and silence. That song was never meant to end. It began as a lullaby, once a tune hummed in the dark, by someone she can't quite remember. The melody lives in her bones now, half forgotten but always waiting for the moon to find it again. Tonight the hum grows stronger. The window glows pale, and the bass string plucks itself once, twice. A rhythm, a heartbeat. She sits up, hair falling over her face. "All right," she murmurs. "Let's see what you're trying to say." She touches the neck of the instrument. It's cold, almost trembling. The vibration travels up her arm, buzzing softly against her skin, and not a sound anymore, but a memory. She closes her eyes, and the world around her begins to shift. She's standing in a room she hasn't seen in centuries. Brick walls, cracked ceiling, moonlight pouring through broken glass. A young girl's laughter echoes somewhere, not hers. Another voice, light, human. And that tune again, Ninchiteko, played on a smaller bass, one that fits in a child's hands. The girl's shadow crosses the floor, and Marceline feels her throat tighten. She should know her. The shape, the sound, the joy in it. But the memory slides away like water through fingers. "Marcy, listen," the voice said. "I added a new part. You'll like it." Then static. The sound breaks. The strings snap back into silence. Marceline opens her eyes. She's back in her room. The bass hums once more and stops. Her fingers ache like she's been playing all night. She whispers to the still air, "Who were you again?" No one answers. Only the wind through the window, humming the last note of a song that never ended. The next evening, Marceline sits on her porch. She doesn't play. She just listens. The air itself seems to hum the melody now, a long, aching note drifting down from the clouds. BMO sits nearby, tracing circles on the floor with one tiny hand. "Marcy," it says softly, "your bass is awake again." Marceline glances over her shoulder. Inside, the instrument glows faintly, each string breathing like a heartbeat under glass. "I know," she murmurs. "I think it wants me to follow." She steps into the night. The clouds part just enough to let the moon spill across the ground. Every puddle hums, every leaf trembles to the rhythm. The song isn't loud, it's patient. It waits for her. She walks through the empty streets of Ooh. Candy lights flicker far away. Somewhere a clock tower ticks a little too slowly. Each sound folds itself into the tune. Even her footsteps fall in time. The melody leads her past Peppermint Butte, through the sleeping woods where sap drips in silver beads, and down to the river. The water glows faintly blue. She kneels at the edge, watching ripples twist into waves of sound. Every motion hums, and between those hums, a voice whispers her name. "Marcy?" She freezes. The voice is soft, childlike, warm, like someone calling from behind a door you forgot existed. "Marcy, play it back." The current carries the words away. The hum grows into a chord, and suddenly she remembers standing here, once the same moon, the same water, but smaller, younger. A pair of hands beside hers, pressing a toy bass into her lap. "Here," the memory says. "Now it's our song." Marceline's heart aches. She whispers to the river, "Who were you?" The reflection on the surface shivers. For an instant, she sees two faces, her own and another beside it, smiling before the ripples erase it. The wind shifts. The bass hum fades into the distance, pulling her toward the dark edge of the forest. BMO's voice breaks the quiet. "Marcy, I think someone is calling you from the moon." She looks up. The moon glows pale and cold. And somewhere inside that light, she hears the last note of the song rise, soft and unfinished. "Find the chorus, Marcy. You'll remember." Marceline stands there until the sky turns gray. She doesn't move, doesn't blink, just listens to the silence between the notes. Because in that silence, something is waiting to be remembered. Marceline doesn't sleep that night. The melody keeps circling her mind, looping and looping, never ending, never fading. By morning, the rain has stopped. Mist drifts low over the forest, and the trail she followed last night glows faintly silver. Each footstep she takes hums beneath her, like the ground remembers the song too. BMO rides on her shoulder, small and still. "Marcy," it whispers. "Where are we going?" Marceline looks ahead. The fog parts, revealing the outline of something half buried in vines. A roof slanted. Broken windows. Stone steps leading down to the ground. "I think," she says, we're going to where the music started." She pushes open a door that sighs as it moves. Inside, dust swirls in ribbons of light. Rows of empty seats fill the hall, the fabric faded to gray. At the front stands a small stage, and resting against the wall, a dozen forgotten instruments, silent for what feels like centuries. She walks down the aisle, her boots echoing softly against the wood. Each sound lingers a second too long, as if the room wants to remember every step. The bass hum starts again. It's deeper now, vibrating through the walls. Her own instrument glows faintly on her back, strings trembling in sympathy. She stops at the center of the stage. "Okay," she whispers. "Show me." The hum swells. Air thickens. The dust begins to shimmer, and in the haze, silhouettes appear. Musicians made of moonlight and memory. A band frozen mid-song. Their shapes flicker like candlelight, their faces soft and blurred. One of them, a small figure holding a bass, turns to her. For a heartbeat, Marceline sees her own eyes staring back. "We never finished it," the ghost whispers. "You stopped playing before the last verse." Marceline's throat tightens. Her hands lift the bass without thinking. The strings hum low, mournful, almost pleading. She plays the first notes that come to her mind, and the room sighs with relief. The phantom band joins in. Drums echo, keys shimmer. The hall fills with sound so gentle it feels alive. It's not scary, not yet, just heartbreakingly familiar. But as the melody grows, she feels something twist beneath it. A wrong note, buried deep, like a whisper that doesn't belong. "Don't stop now," the ghost says. "Play it through. Finish what you began." Marceline hesitates. She knows that voice now. The child from the dream. The one by the river. She plays one more chord, and suddenly the whole hall cracks with sound. Wood splinters, strings snap, and every instrument screams the same note. The lights go out. The air freezes. When the silence finally returns, the ghosts are gone. Only the echo remains, a single chord that fades into a whisper. "Find me in the moonlight," BMO tugs at her sleeve. "Marcy," it says softly, "I think the song remembers more than you do." Marceline stares at the empty stage, Tetsuya's breathing hard. Then she nods. "Yeah," she whispers. "And it's not finished until I remember it too." Marceline travels north. The path narrows between silent peaks, the world around her growing pale and still. Each night, she hears the melody again. Not from her bass, but from the wind itself. The same tune, faint but clear, rising and falling like someone breathing through the sky. BMO, wrapped in her scarf, watches quietly. "Marcy," it says, "are we chasing a ghost or a song?" Marceline smiles faintly. "Maybe both." Days pass. The trees vanish, replaced by stone and frost. The air hums with that same half-remembered rhythm, a pulse beneath the snow. And then, just when she thinks she's walking in circles, she sees it. A small cabin, perched on a cliff half covered in ice. Its chimney collapsed, its door hanging open like a sigh. The windows glow faintly, but there's no fire inside. Only moonlight. She steps inside. The floor creaks under her boots, and dust falls in silver threads from the ceiling. The air smells faintly of cedar and something else, like metal and old paper. On the wall hangs a photograph, blackened and half-burnt. In it, a young girl stands beside Marceline. The same wide grin, the same little bass. Marceline reaches out. Her fingers tremble. "Who are you?" she whispers. The bass on her back hums. It vibrates so hard it nearly slips from her hands. Then softly, it begins to play on its own. A single chord, then another. The same song. But this time, it's complete. The sound fills the room, warm and sorrowful, and the shadows on the walls begin to move. From the far corner of the cabin, a figure steps forward, thin, glowing faintly blue, its edges flickering like candlelight. She's small, maybe 10 or 11, hair pulled into a messy bun, eyes bright with recognition. "You remember," the girl says, smiling. "I told you I'd wait until you finished the song." Marceline can't breathe. Her voice cracks when she whispers, I left you here, didn't I?" The girl shakes her head gently. "You didn't mean to. You just stopped singing." She steps closer, her voice soft as snow. "You were scared. You forgot who you were before the monsters came. But the song remembered. I stayed so it wouldn't fade." Marceline's knees weaken. Tears sting her eyes. She clutches the bass, its hum matching the ghost's faint voice. "What was your name?" she asked. The girl smiles sadly. "You called me Melody." The word hangs in the air. And for the first time, Marceline understands. The song wasn't just hers. It was theirs. A lullaby born from loneliness, and from love she couldn't bear to lose. The ghost fades slightly, her voice turning quiet, as if she's drifting with the wind. "It's time to finish it, Marcy. Play the last note. Then I can rest." Marceline nods. Her fingers tighten on the strings. The cabin fills with light. She plays one slow, trembling note, and the whole world seems to exhale. Snow lifts from the ground, spiraling upward like stars. The sound of the bass melts into the night, carrying with it the voice of the girl, humming the lullaby's final line. "Sleep, Marcy." The song never really ended. It just waited. When silence returned, Marceline is alone. The photo on the wall is gone. Only her reflection remains, and the faint hum of the strings still vibrating beneath her hand. She looks up at the moon. It's brighter than before, as if someone up there finally finished singing. Morning creeps over the mountains like a yawn. Marceline sits outside the cabin, knees drawn to her chest, the bass resting across her lap. The strings still vibrate softly, though her hands are still. Each hum feels like a pulse, slow, familiar, endless. She stares at the horizon. It feels different now, like the world itself is listening. BMO stirs beside her. "Marcy," it says sleepily. "Did the ghost go away?" Marceline doesn't answer right away. She tilts her head, eyes half closed, listening to the sound under the silence. "No," she murmurs. "She didn't go away. She just went home." BMO blinks. "Home where?" Marceline looks down at the bass, her thumb brushing the lowest string. "The song," she says softly. She went back into the song. When she plucks a note, the air shivers, not cold this time, but warm. The sound doesn't echo through the cabin or the cliffs. It sinks into the ground, and the mountain hums back. Every rock, every tree root, even the snow melting under her boots. All of Ooh vibrates in response, as if the land itself has been waiting for this melody. The hum spreads. It travels down the slopes, through rivers and valleys, as past forests and candy fields, and into the sleeping cities below. In every corner of all, the same sound rises, a low, peaceful thrum, the world's heartbeat. Marceline feels tears slide down her cheeks. It's not sadness, not quite. It's something softer, like remembering a lullaby from before you were born. She hears Melody's voice again, faint but clear. "You always thought music came from people, Marcy. But it was the world's way of keeping you company." The words twist gently in her chest. She realizes now, the first song she ever played, before she had words or friends or even a home, wasn't just hers. It was ooze. Every creature, every sound, the dripping caves, the whirring machines, the laughter of candy people, they were all echoes of that same endless melody. Melody was the song. A spirit of sound born from silence. And when Marceline stopped singing, that spirit had lingered, waiting for her to find her way back. The wind picks up. It carries a faint tune across the snow, soft, slow, almost like breathing. BMO listens, eyes wide. It sounds like a lullaby, it whispers. Marceline nods. Yeah, she says. It's the one we wrote together. She lies back in the snow, bass still against her chest, the hum vibrating gently through her ribs. The melody flows through her now, not haunting, not heavy, just home. The sun rises slowly, its light bending through the ice like a prism. And for the first time in ages, Marceline smiles without ache. In the distance, the mountain hums again. Ooh breathes with her. The song continues, not to be finished, but to be lived. The day drifts quietly into twilight. By the time the moon rises, the mountain is glowing silver, and the air feels warm despite the snow. Marceline sits by the cabin window, a candle burning low beside her. Her bass rests in her lap. The strings are still. But even without touching them, she can feel the music inside her, breathing, pulsing, alive. BMO is curled up near the candle, half asleep. Marcy, it mumbles drowsily. Is the song done now? Marceline watches the moonlight shimmer across the glass. Her reflection glows faintly red, and for just a second she thinks she sees another face beside hers. Melody smiling, humming softly. No, she whispers. It's not done. But that's okay. It was never supposed to end. She walks outside. The snow crunches softly beneath her feet. The world feels so still, like it's waiting for her. She sits on a rock beneath the moon, the same one that's watched her through the centuries, through laughter, war, and endless silence. And then she begins to play. The first note rolls out slow and low, rising into the thin air like smoke. The second follows, then another, a lullaby made of memories. Each sound an echo of something she once loved and lost. The melody spreads like ripples on water. The trees hum in harmony. The clouds drift slower. Even the stars seem to blink in time. Far below, in the Candy Kingdom, Princess Bubblegum stirs from her work. She hears a faint song on the wind, familiar, sad, and sweet. In the Ice Kingdom, the frozen towers hum softly, vibrating with the same rhythm. Everywhere in Oom, the sound reaches those who are still awake, a lullaby for the lonely, a song for the sleepless. Marceline keeps playing. Her fingers barely move now. The song plays through her, not from her. Each note feels like an exhale, a goodbye that doesn't hurt anymore. When the final chord arrives, she lets it linger. The air trembles. Then everything falls quiet. The moon glows brighter, and in that silver light, she hears a small voice, the faintest whisper carried by wind.